All right, guys, we'll give everybody like one more minute and then we'll get started here. If you have stocks or charts you want me to take a look at, put them in the chat and we can go over those. But we're going to run through the indexes, run through um, kind of things I'm looking at, and then we'll go from there. So let's see. Starting off with SPY, we ran into 600 on Friday. So that is kind of might be a pausing point here. We have reclaimed the 21 EMA, which is good on the weekly chart. Um, we pushed up, we came down and held the 8 EMA. That's acted as support. You can see one, two times in a row. Now we're hitting 600. We have some more upside, maybe $5 more, but here is probably not the best spot to pick up swings. At least if you're buying swing trades, be okay with sorry, I've been a little sick today. Averaging averaging down. So like if you're buying in here, we're still trading around this area on Friday, or I mean into tomorrow, be okay with adding on a pullback. You can see I have this level of support here, which is the 8 EMA, but also was resistance here and here. So I am looking for a pullback there. And I like to look for what stocks are holding up once we have that pullback and then look to buy. It's same thesis kind of remains. As long as we hold above the 786, which I told you guys last week in here, that's why we got long Meta, SMCI, a lot of different things on Monday, Tuesday, because I was looking for this move up in the market. And we had the 4 hour buy signals was the main thing. We had that on QQQ. We had that on SPY. So then we had a nice breakout. Then just a little bit of pullback to shake some people out. But so right now, what I'm looking for is I'm continuing to buy the dip as long as we hold what now we have a lot of confluence here. We've got the daily 21 right here. We've got this 786 level right here, and I am expecting us to make new all-time highs. Now, I would say back in here, we started getting bullish on it was the candle close of this day right here. Yeah, right here. When we started to get long and then continued to add longs back in here in terms of like stocks. But reason I'm saying that is because back in here we had this move up, and then I was saying I think we're going to push through and make a new high, which we did. And all of this was kind of coming from the put call ratio. So we were down in here and then we popped back above. When we popped back above, I can show you the crosshairs are kind of the same here. So it was right in here when we popped back above. And I was saying last time so this is the 10 SMA on the put call ratio. And so I took the actual candles off of it and just looking at the 10 SMA here. And so you can see when we pop below it and then we pop back above, we usually make a new high past that previous high. And so I'll show you a couple of examples. So here you can see here we kind of consolidated, but we popped below zero point 0.7, which means too many people are bullish. And then we broke back above it. And then you can see we made a new high. See where I can find where it kind of just does that flick up. So right here, so you can see we went below it, then we popped back above it, and we made a new high, taking out the new previous high. So that was part of the thesis that I've been telling you guys for the past couple of weeks that back in here, I figured we'd break this high and make a new high. But now I'm starting to think what we're looking at is we're probably going to make a new all-time high. And so I'm continuing to look bullish on the market. Big reason why is because you can see the put call has uh, we got really bullish. Everybody was bullish in here, right? And then you can see we got below, and then we kind of shook some people out, and then now people are starting to not believe the rally, right? So as long as we trend up here, so like you can see like we had a similar move here, then we continued to just trade higher because people were getting more bearish, but there was no moves down. And then you can see once we got too bullish, we topped out, and then FOMC was here, so on and so forth. Um, but you can see that we had that pop below, and it looks very similar to what this looks like here. So you can see we kind of popped above, and then we kind of ran flat for a minute. We had a shakeout back in here, but we still had more room for upside because I guess people are not really believing this rally based on the put call. Okay. We go in through here, check this. Okay, so we broke this low. We're continuing a downtrend. We did have a sell signal on the VIX here a few days ago, and so we have seen some upward price action since then. Um, Interest rates. So this is one thing I do want to show you guys. So this is pretty interesting. So if you look at the weekly time frame, we've got buy signals on TNX, and I think this would be like if you're a longer term swing trader, I think might be a good idea to like swing TLT puts or something like that because they run inverse. But you can see this is the 10-year. Last time we had buy signals here, it was from 4.25 to so a half percent. Here was 3.7 to 5.0. And so I am looking like I think, and you can see here we had buy signals back in here, huge move, sell signals, huge move down, buy signals, pretty nice move, buy signals, nice move, sell signals, nice move. So these weekly signals are very valid on this, but I think the bigger piece of the puzzle is if, or you can see here the weekly monthly chart, right? So look, we've got this key support level here. And you can see there's been a clear change in trend. And if you, uh, that's a little scary just because basically what we're running into now. So you can see here we had this clear trend line down. Well, the reason I say it's scary, not necessarily scary, but like housing, this means if this is going up, housing interest rates, credit card interest rates, things like that are going to head higher. So that's pretty something to keep an eye on. And that also makes, so how does that affect the stock market? Well, it's going to make credit lending more expensive. So like these companies that aren't making any money and they have these big loans out, these growth companies that aren't profitable yet, they're on these big loans. And so if they're taking out new loans, they're going to be charged with higher interest rates, so it's going to be even harder for them to make money or even flip to being positive. So the IWM will typically can have a hard time with in a high interest rate environment. But if you're looking at this, so you can see we've had a clear change in trend here. And so we got to pay attention to this. And I think the next one of the next big swing trades that I'm looking at is TNX. So um, now, how would I play this? It'd be through TLT, which is the 20-year. They move very closely to the same, but you can see we had a monthly sell signal in there. Kind of missed that one, but uh, it's very similar idea. These options are cheap, and you can also look for a break of these lows. And honestly, I would think we're probably going to head down to a new all-time low. So maybe a few months out, we buy the 80 puts, maybe August or maybe January puts. And that might actually be a very solid trade. Um, so running through here, I think that's all I want to cover here. You can see we had a nice breakout on IWM. So for the moment right now, interest rates aren't affecting things, but we got to pay attention. You can see here last time we had sell signals on the weekly for TLT. We had this huge flush down. We had sell signal here and a nice flush down. So this would have been a good trade. This would have been a good one to sell half and, let the runners run. But here we're on the back of a monthly sell signal. And we haven't had one of those on TLT besides this buy signals here and this buy signal here. So sell signals be interesting to see what it does. Um, okay. So as for the markets, still buy the dip mode. 600 is going to be a key level. And don't try to buy it at resistance. I'm going to continue to buy until we break this key over under level. I'm going to continue to be bullish and look for buy signals. And I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of stall out here and chop sideways for a little while and then look for that move into all-time highs. Okay. Uh, looking at the So one thing to note, you can see here, daily squeeze was the last time we had a big move up here. And then now this move that we had here that we caught last week was off the 4 hour. So it was a 4 hour squeeze. This move right here was a 4 hour squeeze. So a lot of what you want to do is look for look for the indexes to form the 4 hour daily squeezes, those higher time frames, because that's usually going to produce a bigger move. That's something that you're going to want to trade. Right now, we don't have either of that, so uh, we're lacking the gas, so to speak. Um, okay, so let's run through some stocks here. All right, so Bros, this one's an interesting one. It's got a daily squeeze. We're above the 618. We're above most resistance. You can see this inverse head and shoulders, and we're consolidating above the high. We've got a 4 hour squeeze, but we do have 2 hour buy signals. So I do like this one for a move up into uh, pretty much $80. But we also have a weekly squeeze that has buy signals as well. So I am looking for this one to break out and show some relative strength. So I really do like that one. CCJ, this one's just been a momentum leader. So all-time highs are right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we broke out into those this week. We've got a 2 hour uh, squeeze here, and it looks pretty good. Um, TEM, we tried to catch this one. This one's been a little choppy, so I would suggest swing trading this one. You could even set a limit order at the 21 EMA and try and catch an entry there. But I think as soon as we break this 50% level, we're going to go straight to 70. So I'm really keeping an eye on that. We did get a buy signal here today after. So here's the thing. We had this expansion. So you can see we traded tight range right here and then had an expansion candle. And then we traded tight range now again. I'm looking for this tight range to break out to the upside. Um, because you can see here, we had this high volume down move down, but you can see this blue line is the weekly 21. We got bought up right at the weekly 21 and then showed some high volume buying right here. So this one I think has some explosive potential. I think the $70 calls would be a great move. We could easily see it move into 75 pretty quickly. So that one's going to be top watch this week. I see someone requested hymns, and I'm just going to bring one up right now because this is in the related field. So TEM and hymns are kind of in the related life sciences field. And yeah, so I am keeping very close watch on this one as well. Nice daily squeeze. We're getting really tight here. I'm looking for a buy signal. We might get that on the 4 hour here. Maybe even tomorrow. But yeah, we had a really nice trade on this one. Back in here, we had buy signals and we bought right here right after earnings report, got in there and got this really nice move up straight into the target, which was from 38 to 65. Pretty crazy move. But I do love this stock. It treats me well every time I trade it. So I am looking for some buy signals this week as well. That's kind of top priority as well. That space seems to be setting up. Um, look for a pullback and these names here, the quantum names, even maybe a setup in IONQ. This weekly chart, these buy signals missed that last one. That was a really nice move, but I think QUBT was one that I was paying attention to and it kind of left without me. We had 4 hour buys here and just completely missed that one. So look for the similar thing here. If we get a pullback on QBTS or QUBT. And then also keep an eye on IONQ. I think this one's trying to set up as well. So This one might need a little more time. The other ones are leading, which I don't love the fact that this is not leading, but um, it's not too far off all-time highs. Just had a strong rejection trying to get up there to 50. Uh, and then let's see. So one of the big ones that I'm paying attention to this week, so like those life sciences one, TM, HIMS, I really like those setups, but financials are looking really good. So this will be good for the Dow. So like if you're a futures trader, be watching YM. That might be setting up a good bit this week. You can see here we've got daily squeeze, 4 hour buys. We've got weekly weekly buys here, and we're right near all-time highs. So this one can move right to 54.60. I like this chart. This we've got buy signals. So if you want to just trade this, by all means, go ahead, do it. Um, but here's a couple ones that also look good as well. So JPM, we got 4 hour buy signals here. You can see we're tightening up, we're making higher lows, we're holding the daily 21 over and over. We're above the 786, and we break out. We have no supply here until we get to new all-time highs. You can see we have this swift move down. So like we break out from here, we're gonna have a really strong and fast move up from right there. No, that's so it's just what makes up the components of YM or ES uh, or the NASDAQ. Like if you're bullish on financials, you're not going to want to, and you're going to trying to trade an index, you're not going to do the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ's made of tech stocks. Uh, YM, so the Dow is made up of mainly financials and industrials. And so you kind of want to focus, if you're bullish on those sectors, you want to be focusing on that index. So it's always good to know what indexes and stuff are setting up. Okay, July 15th. So, and we're about a month out from earnings. So, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to start getting ready for that and playing a run into earnings because typically financials like to do that. So, XLF might be the move. But I do like Charles Schwab here. I think somebody brought this up to me a while ago. But yeah, we've got all-time highs right up here. We've got 4 hour buy signals. Daily chart looks really good. Um, and then Goldman Sachs as well. Also looks good. This one's kind of leading the pack. You can see we had 4 hour buy signals on Thursday, got to pop up and made a new high here on Friday. We've got this key level here of the 786. So watch out for that. But the financials look really good here. Um, so I'm definitely keeping a close eye on that. And then I guess so just for some random stocks, I guess you would call it, uh, Shopify. This one, nice setup. My bought this one uh at the open on Friday and looking for this weekly squeeze to play out. So I think this one, if you get any sort of move lower, like maybe into 110, this is a great place to pick up either shares or longer term, like at least 3 months out, trying to play this move back up into the high. I think this one is a great looking stock, and I think we can easily move back up into that new high. And you can see here tight price action. So if you're just looking at the volume, you can see high volume candle here, so on the move lower, but high volume buying candle, which was a higher than this one. And then you can see buying candle, buying candle. We had some volume, but that was earnings, right? And then we got this huge gap up and a huge volume, and then we've just been trading inside that. So yeah, if and then we had a weekly buy signal with high volume. And let's take a look at the previous weekly buy signals. Okay. Weekly buy signal right here from 72 is now trading up to 130. Okay. Weekly buy signals in here 123 to 165. Okay. Uh, 103 to 150. Right. This looks a lot. Okay. Look at this 15 to 40, uh, 10 to 15. So that might not sound crazy, but that's 50% gain. That's a almost 200% gain. So yeah, these buy signals have hit actually every single time this chart has printed weekly buy signals, it has worked. So if that tells you anything, you might be wanting to buy SoFi, or I mean shop. Um, yeah, I'd be looking at this new high. I'd be looking at for it to take out this new high. This is kind of the only resistance. So what I like about this is that one, all the signals have played out every time since the inception of this stock. Then you can see here, we're trading within this candle's range for one, two, three. And so if we break out of this is going to see a really fast breakout to the upside. So I'd be looking for 130. And obviously, like if you're trading shares, just depends on what you're trading. You can buy more or you can sell into strength. So like we move up to 120, sure, take a little bit off. Like I'd take off maybe a quarter, but then I'd hold most of it for the new high and then leave like 25% to see how far it can go, see if we can get to that 140, 145 area. What's the monthly look like? You know, the monthly looks good. It has monthly buy signal as well. Um, FTNT weekly chart. This looks solid. Daily chart also has buy signals. Weekly chart does as well. This one looks great. Not much overhead supply. Run the fibs and we're trading above the 618. Beautiful, beautiful sign. So this one looks excellent for a move in a new all-time highs. Uh, Walmart. This one looks a little sketchy, rejecting the 786 and also $100. So, but I mean, I'd rather follow the signals and we can look at we had buy signals back in here, which worked really nice. Buy signals worked nice. That one didn't work. That one worked. That one didn't work. So, looks like this was a little more choppy, and I bet you that was probably a monthly. Yeah, you can see. So when it gets a little choppy, that's why I was telling you guys in the chat, when you see the gray bars or yellow bars, you unless you have high conviction on it, you kind of want to go to the higher time frame that does have the um right color bars and then trade it because that's usually what the main trade is going to be. So you can see here we have green bars, buy signals, high volume, and then that was the move rather than getting chopped up trying to trade the lower time frame. So it's just like move up a time frame. That's all you gotta do. Like here, you can see it was choppy all through here. Bet you this is the monthly. So like if I go to the 3 month, even there's a nice 3 month, but 6 month. Yeah, you can see 6 month, we've got the green trend bars and then it's clean trade. Green trend bars, clean trade, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Mm. Um, okay. And then, yeah, that's all I've got. So if you guys have charts you want me to take a look at, I see SoFi. That's all I've got. So if you guys want to post charts that you're looking at, or if you have any questions, let me know and I can take a look at it. Um, SoFi. So this one looks like it's moving from stage one into stage two. I would like to see a weekly squeeze. So you can see here where we have this stage four decline, then stage one trading sideways, right? And now we're back into stage two. And so that's a good sign. Um, I'd want this to tighten up, print some buy signals, and then this one wouldn't be a good one to go long. The problem is we've just got all this crap right here. Like all these people that bought it past. Okay, just think of the psychology of this trade here. We had an IPO and it was $11. We went all the way up to $28 in just a few weeks, months. And then everybody that was looking at it back in here and decided not to do it, they're like, oh, I missed out on this amazing opportunity. I'm going to buy it on a pullback. Everybody's buying it in this pullback, and they're like, oh, I think it's going to go up. Oh, it's going to take out that high. Nope. Oh, it's going to take out the high. Nope. And then it finally broke down and then traded lower. So, and then they didn't sell, they're bag holding. There's a ton of people bag holding their shares back in through here. And then now it's declined. And now you've got a bunch of baggage. You got a bunch of people that are sitting here that have shares. They're trying to get out at break even. I'm sure some of you have done this before. I've done it before when you first started trading or whatever. But people buy something, then they just, oh, if it gets back to break even, I'm gonna sell out. If it gets back to break even, I'm gonna sell out. That's what this is right here. So I don't like this because of the overhead supply. Like, so for example, if we look at shop, it's a little more different. You can see here we had a little bit of back and forth, but then you can see the swift move down. So that implies that if there's a swift move down, we should have a swift move back up. Okay. Um, FT&T, this one's near all-time highs. So this is just like a clear skies type deal. So um that's that, right? So yeah. That's what I'd kind of be looking for. Um yeah, so a couple of ones to keep an eye on is shorter term trades. Keep an eye on HIMS. Keep an eye on, there's a few of them that are like these leaders that are actually setting up. PLTR has been weird, and that's indicated by the choppiness, right? Hood is going to gap, at least last time I checked on Friday, it's set to gap down back to the 9 or 8 EMA, whatever. Okay, these ones as well. Keep an eye on these as well. The I love trading these stocks, the nuclear stocks. They're just, I think they're really great ones to trade. Keep an eye on this. We've got a 4 hour squeeze starting to form. We've got 2 hour that looks good. Just kind of need a pullback on it. OKLO trying to set up as well. That's got a 4 hour squeeze. Yeah, so I think this one looks really good. Both of them. Keep an eye on these. So if you want to write a list down, the number ones that you kind of want to focus on is TEM, HIMS, uh, OKLO, SMR. So based on those groupings, right? Those industry groups, those are OKLO and SMR are nuclear stocks, and what was that other one? Oh, TM and uh TM and HIMS, those are like life sciences. They're like AI slash biotech, healthcare type stuff, right? They're kind of in their own mix. And then the financials you want to keep an eye on, and then a couple odd or uh, not necessarily groups, but shop and FTNT. Oh, and iNod, this one looks really good. I think it just left without us though. It was printing a weekly buy signal all through here. I was waiting for the candle to close, but I think this one's probably going to rip very fast in a 60 and then potentially a new all-time high. So that's kind of your three oddball stocks. I could probably drop this one. I'll keep it there. But yeah, so those are the ones that I'm keeping an eye on. And yeah, if you have any other stocks you want me to take a look at or any other questions, put them in the chat or that's it. That's all I've got. But going once, going twice. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming, and I'll have this recording posted, and I'll let you guys know any of the trades that I'm looking at taking. So, all right, have a good rest of your night.